We are gathering at Nanny Bubby's house, and we are making sous vide. Sous vide is a French way of cooking. I'm so happy you're here. I always love having you.
I always love cooking with you, and I am so happy to share this because I think it was one of the more wonderful discoveries I made a few years ago. A little backstory, we were at a restaurant in Nashville and had the most fabulous filet I've ever eaten in my life. So of course we were asking, how's it prepared? How do you get it so tender and cooked so? And it was, if you like medium rare meat,
right,
it's really a skill to cook it perfectly medium rare. And this was edge to edge, absolutely perfect, exquisite, seared on the outside.
I think, can I just add, I think that's what, like, so what's the difference whether you throw it on the grill, whether you know, it's that if you're throwing it on the grill or broiling it in the oven or even pan searing it, it is well done for like the inner quarter inch, half inch, or whatever.
It cooks
right?
longer on the outside than it does at its core.
Right.
So we asked them and they said, oh, we use sous vide. And basically they keep all of the steaks at a certain temperature and an arrangement kind of like this. And then they finish cooking them when the customer orders it. So,
which is amazing. So let me ask you this. Let's say just part of the sous vide, and what's so fabulous about sous vide is that you can't overcook these.
Correct. So you can see here on this. I think
well, actually, you know what? I think I could take a tight
Oh,
shot for
there we
everybody.
go.
How's that? Go. Whoop.
There we go. So you see, for medium rare beef, we're going to cook it at 134 degrees. And this even goes over one other decimal place. And I have never had it go up the way it just did like that.
Maybe because you lifted it
usually
up,
it holds steady at that very, see, it just went back down. It's probably me touching it.
Yeah. Your hands might cause the...
My hot hands.
Your hot hands, your hot body. Whoop,
and so it will hold the water at this temperature for however long you have water and it stays plugged in. So you're never overcooking it the way you are in an oven where the oven temperature is maybe 400, but it keeps cooking, and eventually you have food that could be burned or something like that. So the beauty of this is it will be cooked perfect every time. Even I had one time that I got sidetracked, something came up, and the steaks stayed in here for an extra 2 hours, and they were perfect.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And we are going to just address, we are also making scallops, and so you notice that the difference of the temperature is these scallops, I'm hoping you can see that, these scallops, let me just tip over, I don't know, hoping you all can see that, are the temperature are 123. And where do you find like the perfect sous vide temperatures? Is there a cookbook that comes with the sous vide?
They usually come with some kind of a cookbook. Most of them have everything available online now.
Okay.
So for example, these two, the brand is Anova, and
right.
I just happened to do kind of a cost comparison for features, ease of use, that kind of thing, and I just landed on this brand. There are several other brands that are also good. Anova has a website though where it's super easy to actually just say into your phone, hey Siri, sous vide temperature for medium rare steak.
Oh.
And it'll pop up a chart for you and tell you, are we talking about filet, bone-in,
do you have to
ribeye?
add that, or it's already there?
I just use that through Google and Siri.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but Anova has their own website with all of that information. They have recipes, tips. Once you get into it, you'll find there's a million different blogs with other kind of helpful information. But I really love it for meat and seafood.
And hi Frank, how are you? And anybody else that's here. Yep, it's not showing anybody else, so I can see many of you have started to come in, but I just don't know who's here. So as Siri shows you to me, or Facebook shows you, I'll always say hello. But I only heard the words sous vide myself just, I think, last holiday season. And I had never even heard of this form of cooking. I said, wait, what did you just say? And they had to repeat it 2 or 3 times. I said, can you spell that for me?
Yeah.
And I was shocked that I had never heard of such a thing. And of course, as I told you, when I kind of had a day of not feeling well, and I was in bed the whole day, and I was watching Thomas Keller
Oh.
on Masterclass, and he was doing a whole sous vide course, which was so fabulous because I knew that we were, at least I knew what a sous vide looked like. So just to break it down for you so that you can see it, there's a tub. So let me just like move this back so everybody can just see a long shot of it here. So here is the tub, which is great. And then here is the heating element, and these are two separate pieces, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And apparently I'm on this one. Okay.
And you just plug them in. And the nice thing with this one and most of the others, they can actually connect to your phone via Bluetooth. So if I wanted to, I could put this in, let's say in the morning, and let's say my meat's frozen and you're just going to put it in the cold water in the morning before you're leaving, but you really don't want to turn it on and have it start going until 11. I could turn it on from my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
And it would unfreeze or defrost in the cold water.
In the process, it would defrost in the water. Now, you're going to have to compensate a little bit on cooking time. I mean, that's probably getting a little advanced to go with frozen food.
Yeah, because you do want to dry it and repackage it.
Yeah, well, you could pre-freezer it, ready to go, and take it out of the freezer and put it in there. Now, I've done that with your Nanny Bubby risotto.
Oh.
When I was making the beef, I had a package of that, and I threw that in at the end so that it could reheat.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Smart girl. This one has so many
multitasking.
So many tricks up her sleeve. That's why she's my cooking confidence
shortcuts.
coach. I love her shortcuts. I mean, I try to complicate everything, and then I realize why. But I don't realize why until after, and I've talked to Tanya about it. And then, oh my God, I wasted 3 hours. So, okay. Well, shall we get started?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to show you how
So we're going to scoot over
here. Let me turn this around. Are you in that shot?
I am now.
Okay. Do I need to turn a little bit that way?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Nanny Bubby's beef tenderloin in the flank steak marinade from the batch cooking show.
Okay.
So it was already frozen and everything, and it's defrosted. One of the things, generally speaking, especially with beef, is you don't want it to be cooking in the sous vide in a lot of liquid. The scallops are a little bit of an exception because there is a little bit of that kind of sauce marinade, but for the most part, you want it to be dry, and then we're going to vacuum seal it.
So with the fish, you do put liquid into the marinade, like as it's a marinade.
You can. It is not necessary, and it is important when you're doing that with the fish to make sure it's just enough to maybe flavor it. You don't want it to be soupy at all.
Now, what I was going to ask you is, let's say I own a restaurant, and let's say they've decided that on an average night they sell 12 fillets. So they get them into the sous vide, you know, earlier in the day, get them up to medium rare, and then they only sell 8, which means that there's 4 left over. What do they do? Do they just keep them in the sous vide for 24 hours, or what do you think they do?
They don't do that because there is a point at which you're not going to overcook it, but you know, eventually excessive hours of heat would take its toll, even if it's at a precise temperature. So, you know, there's definitely kind of a certain window, but it's much more forgiving than, say, roasting or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take this out. Do you want me to?
I'll take it out, but you know, I was playing with the phone and everything, so let me just wash my hands, because you can never have good enough clean hands.
No.
Chef's best tools are clean hands, so let's always make sure that that is the case. Okay. All right, so, and dry hands, right?
Dry hands.
Okay.
So we've got a regular food saver bag.
So just so you know, if you want to remind yourself of the marinade recipe, it is and it will be in Gather. We will post it in Gather this afternoon. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Okay. You will find that marinade in the Gather recipe. I've done it for you guys a couple of times, so I didn't feel like I needed to bore you with that yet another time. But if you want the marinade, yet again, the whole thing will be posted in Gather with Nanny Bubby this afternoon or tonight.
And then I think gives it a little something extra to add some fresh herbs into the bag.
Okay.
As it sous vides.
Okay, those are beautiful. It looks pretty, doesn't it? Let's show them.
I just think it's pretty and...
It is. Do you add extra salt or anything? Not to this marinade.
I don't to this one because of the soy salt.
Yeah. So we've got, if you remember, it's ginger powder, garlic powder, soy sauce, salt. Oh, no salt, but pepper. And what am I missing? I know there's other things in there, but...
Ginger.
Yeah, ginger, powdered ginger.
So we'll...
Hey, Teresa. We are doing sous vide today with Tanya Murray, and I'm so excited. Whoops, there goes the... That's okay?
Yeah.
So that worked, I'm happy to say. Sometimes I go in and it just doesn't work, and I don't know what I did wrong.
Mine does that too. I feel like it's telling me you need to slow down and have some patience, and then I will work properly for you.
Oh, okay. Does that help?
It usually does.
Okay.
But okay, so we're all sealed up here. Now, the next element that's important about this method is making sure that the food in your bag stays submerged in the water. You don't, and it has a tendency, even if you've gotten all the air out, to kind of float to the top. Mm-hmm. There are probably a lot of different ways to do it. I didn't, when I was first learning to do this.
There's knives in that?
Yeah. Well,
oh my God.
These are my really high-tech weights. And they just happen to be the right size and weight. And so I put them back to back like this.
Oh my God.
So that they sort of lay flat.
I mean, Einstein reborn.
Well.
Or Thomas Edison reborn. I'm not sure. Here, put that in so they can see what you're doing.
And so I'm going to take the knives.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to wrap the top around it like this. Okay. So that they're tucked in that fold.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take 2 binder clips.
Okay. So I missed the fact that you have knives in that. I just thought you had binder clips on it, and those were your weights.
So.
And of course, because I'm neurotic, I would do this.
We don't want it to touch the meat, though.
We don't.
So we'll just leave that one flipped
Okay.
up.
Maybe.
So.
What about that one?
Probably.
And why don't you want to touch the meat?
Just because I never know, because these are metal.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
See, there's a good reason for everything.
And I, you know, you can try researching using binder clips and knives to weigh down a sous vide, and you're probably not going to find anything. So this is all a little bit of guessing.
I love that.
But so this is your little package, and if you want to, we'll move the camera around.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me get that for you. I can do that for you. There you go.
Here we go.
Okay.
And so we have our water at 134, and that is just a personal preference. I like medium rare. You can certainly make it higher or even lower. Like if you thought you were going to maybe blacken sear it for some reason and you didn't want it quite as done, maybe you go 2 degrees lower. And so all we're gonna do is put it in the water. See how the knives hold it down so nice?
Yeah, there you go.
And there it is. It's all nice and submerged in there.
Okay, and then now...
And then you can go have a glass of wine, go for a walk,
take a nap. Take a nap. About how many hours would you put the sous vide, a tenderloin like that into the sous vide?
For this tenderloin, I'm guessing it's about 2.5 pounds or so.
Well, I don't, it was, yeah, probably.
Well, you sort of saw proportionally how big it was. This one, it says 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
So, you know, at 2 hours, it might be a time, you might want a little long. I always err on the side of a little bit longer.
Right. So you can see that this is actually bringing down the water temperature now.
It is, yeah.
So,
but then it'll go back up.
It will. Do you want to take the other one out?
Yes.
Okay.
And we need some tongs.
Okay.
Because I have dipped my hands in there before, and it's actually hotter than you think.
Yeah, you don't think it is. I was almost getting ready to do that myself. So, okay. So we will take it and put it right. I will hold this for you. And this will be a great platter to put it in.
Now this one we put in at 11:30. And we've been running around having all kinds of fun doing other things while we have the most perfectly cooked beef tenderloin you will ever taste.
I cannot wait to taste this. So I'll let you carry that over to the other side. And I might take this food saver and just move it out of our way if I can. Let's see how much cord I have.
No. You can just put it going sideways here if you want.
Okay.
It gives us a little more space.
All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
Okay, so.
Oh, sorry about that. Camera. All right.
Sorry, you guys got that close up.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we're going to undo our knives. And your binder clips might rust. It doesn't. I figured it's not a big deal because your food is actually never touching the water because it's totally sealed.
Right. Your knives come out.
Knives come out. And then we just need scissors to cut open the top.
Okay, right behind
So I'll show you in the bag. You can see it's just, and the thing with the sous vide is it doesn't brown anything. So it'll be cooked, but you won't see any brown, which is the reason we
Right, and that is actually a
brown
problem
separately.
because if you're looking at this, you're going to see as we take it out that it is, it's not browned. And of course, you don't want to eat meat that it still looks rare or raw on the outside.
It just doesn't look as pretty.
It smells amazing.
Heavenly.
Oh my gosh, and I think that's as a result of the rosemary and the thyme, but boy, you can sure smell it. Wow,
Okay.
look at that.
So technically, this is perfectly cooked and ready to eat. You wouldn't, we are going to do a little extra though, and I love to brown it in duck fat.
Okay, so this is my
finish it off.
question. Are you telling me that under normal circumstances, people just cut into it and eat it just like that?
Some people do.
Uh-huh.
Now, some people like to brown the meat before they do the sous vide, but I think that takes away the crispy caramel crunchiness.
Right. And Thomas Keller, I do have to say, here, come a little closer to me.
Oh.
Thomas Keller did say to brown it afterwards, if you're a Thomas Keller fan.
And I am.
Okay,
So
and I am
I'm glad
too.
Thomas agrees with me.
I am glad too. Okay, so we have our skillet, cast iron pan. Let me move that so the phone is so narrow, it's hard. So if you'll turn that this, just turn that this way. And then we'll take this and just move it right into our shot.
All right.
And there we are. Can you see it, guys? Okay.
Well said.
So the key is, and I was very surprised to hear this. Hey, Sue Epstein, Rainish, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. So, so you say to caramelize and brown in duck fat.
It's amazing the tips you pick up along the way when you talk cooking with people.
Uh-huh.
And a friend of the family, we were chatting about it, and he actually retired from his job and went to culinary school to be a chef, just for his own knowledge.
Wow.
And he was the one that told me, if you really want the most amazing steak ever, brown it in duck fat. And
so whether it's steak or tenderloin or anything. Hey, Susie, nice to see you.
French fries.
Yeah.
And
French fries?
Potatoes cooked in duck fat, that's a whole other show.
Oh my gosh.
You could do a whole show on duck fat.
I would love to.
Yes. It's amazing.
It sounds amazing, and I'm so excited we get to taste this for all of you. So stand by. Okay. So I noticed that it kind of separates, like there's the heavier is at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so it says refrigerate after opening, which it just vacuum seal popped. So do I get like a tip? That's good. Yeah. Put it on 3 or 4. So would you say tablespoons? But I feel like we need to mix it a little bit.
Probably.
Okay. So what do you think we put in?
I think you want to put enough to have enough coating on your pan. I would say don't be skimpy, but you don't want to drown it.
Marla
Marla helps me get better with being a little more precise on things.
Well, and Tanya helps me get better at, yeah, I can see that, yeah. And if you reach from the bottom, then you get actually the better duck fat. But Tanya actually helps me get better with, well, it's okay, just use a little of this and a little of that. Sometimes I back myself into a corner and don't know how to get out. And so I forget. That looks great. So there's about 1/10 of an inch actually in here, I would say. So it's not like when you put olive oil on something and then wipe it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's truly greased.
Yeah, you want it so this can soak it all up.
And so are you going to use duck fat to, it smells like a turkey. It smells like a turkey's basting, doesn't it? Do you use duck fat for your turkey?
I haven't. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, well, we're gonna have, hey, Roseanne, where do you buy your duck fat? Okay, so she buys it on Amazon.
I buy everything on Amazon.
But I found this at Whole Foods today. Whole Foods, there's duck fat, there's beef tallow, there was every fat known to man. Chicken fat, I mean, everything. And I'm sure that Sprouts has it. I don't know if Trader Joe's does or not.
The duck fat is a little harder to find sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah, which is how I ended up ordering it on Amazon.
And
But
this is
it turned
actually
out Whole Foods
cage-free
always had it.
organic duck fat. So there you go. Which means that we pay more, of course. And why wouldn't I? Because I have a habit of doing it.
We are going to start.
And you're putting it in with the rosemary and the thyme. So do we need to, oh my God. So the rosemary and thyme will go to the bottom of this. Oh my God. What a show. What a show this, so one of the things that I'm doing is Tanya is nice enough to let me borrow her Sous Vide for the baby shower. And as you know, I have been cooking for this baby shower since God knows when.
Prepping.
Prepping, trying the bernays, everything. But I really needed to experience, because for the baby shower, I am doing a beef tenderloin along with a frittata and along with lox and bagels and a kale salad. And that's really it. It's an afternoon
Just a few light bites.
Yeah, just a few light bites. But I really wanted to do the tenderloin. And there we go. So do you think that is browned enough?
It's a personal preference thing. How I got started on this is I'm so particular about liking my meat medium rare.
Right.
That I would rather eat it slightly raw than overcooked.
I'm with you.
So hence I'll brown
Heidi
it.
Gonzalez is here. Hey Heidi.
Oh, hi Heidi. So we'll let that just sit and caramelize for another 60
see that this
seconds.
is really browned. I just want to.
And then I'm going to get, do we have a clean?
So speaking of which, she gets vanilla bean deep. Can you imagine how great this is? And this is what she put onto the scallops. So boy, I can't wait to experience this.
And I use that actually, sometimes I just brush it on fish before I put it, like broil it or something.
Is this one yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? I'm gonna turn that off. Wow. And so as I just want to see this, so if you'll push this to my left, and I'll set this for everybody to see. And I will put this right here. And there you see it. Can you see that? Let me zoom this in a little bit for all of you to see.
So beautiful.
It smells so good. Oh. Can you see that? Isn't that gorgeous? And you can see with the rosemary and the thyme just sitting on top. It did not take anything to caramelize this. This was 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I put it on the planner. You know what I would love to? I almost would love to be able to caramelize this outside on the patio while everybody is, sitting at the table.
That would be a beautiful
it be?
presentation.
Would it? I don't know.
You could on your grill if you had
duck fat on my grill.
Well, one of those grill pans.
Yeah, but I actually have the stove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little,
Well, you
little
could.
burner. Yeah, I could. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see.
That would be quite magnificent.
Okay. So if I use the other half of my tenderloin, here, move into the shop. If I use the other half of that tenderloin, then I would be just popping it right in there. Or I'll take both pans out there and do both pans and do them both at the same time.
I usually, I mean, presentation-wise, it's nice to have a complete whole one, but it would require a larger vessel.
Right.
So for practical purposes, even when I'm cooking a whole one, I usually just cut it in half and do the 2 halves because I don't have a pot big enough.
Right. But you can stick this ANOVA into any great pot. So if you have a large, like, spaghetti pot.
Crab legs. And in a pot that's, you know, this big around, like you could sit 2 small children in it.
Right.
And I put both of the sous vides in there. It took a little longer, but I mean, it worked actually perfect.
Put both sous vides in.
Well, just because it was so much water to heat up, we wanted to make sure to eat that night.
Right. Well, I was thinking you could also start the pot on the stove and start getting it heated, right? And then put the sous vide in.
Absolutely.
I know when you say a pot big enough to heat 2 small children, I always say I love my kids so much and my grandkids so much. I'm a mother who could eat her young.
Aww.
And then there was like some crazy person who actually did that, so you know, then I stopped saying it just so people wouldn't think I was crazy, but I am. Okay, so should we cut into this? Everybody's dying to see, or you want to wait?
No, we can cut in and then we'll demonstrate our scallops.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your forks. Start your forks, as Ina always says. Do you want to grab them? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll cut into it. Hey, Eva Kaplan. Eva Kalik, sorry. Everyone's maiden name shows up first, so when I glance up, that's what I see. Okay, I have to cough, so I'm going to walk away. Okay, all right. So just cut through the middle or cut through the end?
I usually cut on the end because you can see then exactly how it cooked so precisely.
Okay, let's tip you down so that you can see this. Well, that is amazing. Note to self, don't make the end this thin. But can you guys see this? Look that way, yeah. There you go. This is literally from end to end. Oh
I mean, it's just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, look at that. That end is medium rare, and I'm guessing
it will be exactly that all the way through.
And so should I cut just to see?
If you want.
Okay. Just to demonstrate for all of our gatherers, look at how perfect. It's not rarer in the middle than it was on the end. Look at that.
Is that a work of art?
That is a work of art. Look at that. Can you guys see that? So this is the middle, and this was the end piece. And they are, that's the end, so let me flip it over. And they are identical, and that is the benefit of the sous vide. So shall we cut this and take a bite?
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
I will never say no to a bite of filet.
Okay, well step into the camera, my friend. Okay.
Alrighty.
Shall we? Let's see. Hey, Arlene. It's sous vide. It's sous vide, Arlene, with my filet tenderloin.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Between the sous vide and your marinade and the duck fat.
Oh my gosh.
This is like heaven in your mouth.
Yeah, heaven in your mouth is right. Hey, Mark Goldberg. Yes, perfection. Oh my gosh. One more bite?
It is, sure.
So there is some sort of sweet caramelization in this. I guess it's the honey, right? Because you do put honey in this. So good.
It is.
Absolutely
fabulous.
Delicious.
And you get just like a tiny hint of the rosemary and thyme.
Well, I love that. And you could smell it when you were searing it. It was just absolutely marvelous. Okay, on to the scallops. Wow.
On to scallops.
Right? So good. And my piece right here on the end. Now, I just want to ask you, this little piece right here, let's see this. Just as an example, oh my gosh, once I start cutting, I can't stop. So, this little piece right here is so thin that if you were cooking this in the oven, chances are this would be well.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering how it turned out here.
It turned out exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Look at that. Oop. Look at that. That's amazing. I think this little edge is because of the searing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Had to do it. Okay.
We need one more bag.
Okay.
I was not thinking.
You put it over there. No, you did put
I
it out.
used it for the beef tenderloin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are they back here?
Yes, on the bottom. I'm gonna cut one more bite while she forgot her supplies. That's her fault. It really is so good. So good. All right, did you find it?
I found it.
Okay, I had another bite while you were gone.
As you should.
Yeah, couldn't help myself. Too good. Too good. Oh, wow. Okay, so, what's
We
next?
need our orange juice.
Orange juice. Where is it?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't bring any? Oh,
Do you have oranges?
no, but I have my lemons. I didn't know.
Okay.
Is there anything else I was supposed to get?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
didn't get the orange juice. Let's see what we got. Okay, you have to stand
We're gonna
in front of the camera.
improvise.
Stand in front of the camera. What? So, wait a minute. I think I do have oranges.
Yes, perfect.
These are oranges. Oh my god.
Awesome.
All right.
We're gonna have fresh orange juice. Now, the other thing I use sometimes is just orange juice
You could use powdered
concentrate.
sugar or flour if you wanted.
We were gonna use something. We were gonna make this work, but as you can tell, that is not the first time that's happened to me embarking on cooking something. I'm like, guess we'll just have to come up with a substitute.
So Roseanne said that she sold on Sous Vide, and you can
Yes.
find the Anova. We'll put it in the show notes. The Anova Sous Vide on Amazon, and you will love it. So
And on Amazon, usually when you pull up the link for the Anova Sous Vide, it'll bring up the thing for the Rubbermaid container also.
okay, all right. And this Rubbermaid container is made by Rubbermaid, not by Anova.
No, it's by Rubbermaid,
Okay.
and I think Anova makes one, but this one does exactly what you need to, and I think it's $12.
Oh well, how can you?
I figure there's no point in overcomplicating.
So Mark said he's going to have dinner now. Thanks for inspiring him. And
I'm so
our
glad,
pleasure.
Mark.
There we go. About how much orange juice are you putting in?
What we're doing orange juice, honey, and the vanilla bean ghee, and it's equal parts of each. So the recipe is a 1/3 cup, but if you had more fish or food or something, you just could increase it as long as you keep equal ratios.
Now, do you find cooking with scallops, like if you're not sous videing them? I actually have made them maybe once or twice.
I
I'm not a
have
big-
ruined more scallops than I've ever cooked.
because you overcook them.
Overcooked them, undercooked them. I just, scallops were really my nemesis. And I came across this, and this whole recipe was just kind of an experiment one night. And I really could not have been more thrilled.
I'm eating just the scraps out of the bottom of this
The
pan.
other thing the sous vide is really great for is if you have leftover fish.
Lisa said scallops are tricky. She's agreeing.
Scallops are so tricky, and this is the one way I've always been able to cook them without fail and have them come out perfect. Okay, so we've got our
Okay, we'll
1/4 to a 1/3 cup.
let me just back this up so we can both be in the shot. I think Teresa does scallops though, because I think I've seen Teresa actually post scallops.
I think some people have a knack for it too.
So-
I just,
Type a 1 in the chat if you've ever actually done sous vide cooking before. And if it were me, I would not be typing that 1 because I didn't even know what it looked like until just a few weeks ago when I actually finally watched Thomas Keller to figure out exactly, what it was.
And then we just need a little
And if you
spoon.
just joined us, I actually told the story that I'd actually not even heard of what the word sous vide until last December. Honestly, maybe December or January. It must have been January because a friend of mine said that she gave her son a sous vide for the holidays and that he absolutely loved it and that the whole family loved it. Now, where did you find the idea of vanilla bean ghee? Where did that come up?
Amazon.
Yes, but did the recipe itself call for vanilla bean ghee, or did you just go?
No, I came across it on Amazon when I was looking for something else, and I bought it, and I never really knew what I was going to do with it. And I remembered a recipe I had at a restaurant in Phoenix when I was in college. Remember Steamers, the Biltmore?
No, that was after my time.
Oh, I don't think so. Anyways, Steamers had the most amazing. It was a scallop dish, and it had some kind of vanilla bean sauce on it.
Really?
And so that was kind of how this sort of came
ghee,
together.
Do you think? Like,
Well, isn't ghee, they've removed the milk fat solids?
it is, yes.
So I think it probably cooks cleaner.
I see.
Would be my
And
guess.
interestingly enough, ghee does not have to be refrigerated even after you open it. I'm just wondering if this says, it's clarified butter is what it is, and it does not say refrigerate. For best results, store at room temperature.
Yeah.
Keep clean and dry, and use within 3 months. So it's very interesting to me that this doesn't have to be refrigerated, but then again, butter doesn't really have to be refrigerated
Well, even
for at least 3 days. You can keep it out
eggs.
for about 3 days. Eggs,
technically, if they're pasteurized or not pasteurized.
if they're not pasteurized, yeah.
Okay, so we have our lovely sea scallops from Costco.
Okay.
We are just going to put those in this bag.
Pull that open for you, my friend. Well, and this is what's so great about cooking in these food saver bags. I just love this.
Yes.
I just love it. So
No muss, no fuss. It's going to be
So I
fabulous.
wonder if we can turn this just in this direction, and we will, I just would like to see if maybe, I don't want to inhibit you, but I'll step out of the way and I will let you, just
And
so you
I'm
guys can see
sort
how
of
it
just
actually sucks
doing
the air
this
right out.
to kind of gently coat them with the sauce marinade we just made.
And now where the filet cooks for about 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours.
The scallops are only going to cook for about 30 minutes. Now you could...
No, I turned it this way so they can see. Do you think you could do it at an angle? I can move this.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that they can see. Can you guys see that? Yeah. All right, so you're feeding it. There we go. Feed it in. Oh no. Why did you
Now
do
I stop it early because I don't want it to crush the scallops.
that? Gotcha.
And sometimes even when you do it on the gentle cycle, it gets a little
Oh.
overzealous.
Okay. I didn't know that. I never understood what that was for. Oops.
That's it.
Okay. So
And
you
so-
stopped it. That's what you did.
Well,
is
I
you said-
stopped it and then I just hit seal. So when you hit the seal button,
So wait a minute. You hit start, and then you hit
you
stop.
put it in and start it. But once it's started, if you hit the button that says seal right here, it will stop the vacuum suction and it will just seal the bag.
right at that point.
Yes, right at that point,
Gotcha.
exactly. And that's good if you're doing anything super delicate, which fish, scallops.
Okay, let me rinse this out so we can take the scallops that have been in for about
we're gonna
30
be
minutes.
Back to our knife setup. And I would love to hear
So
from anyone if you
explain-
come up with a better
Explain the
idea.
knife setup one more time for those that came in late.
So one of the things you want to do with the sous vide is you always want the food to stay submerged in the water. So the purpose of this knife setup is to weight it down to make sure it stays submerged. Because if you put anything super heavy on top, you don't want to end up crushing the food, especially if you're using something that is, delicate like fish. I wouldn't want to crush my beef tenderloin either, though.
No.
So that's our scallop package.
Okay, let me come over. Let me grab the tongs for you, and we will pull that out. Let me get the plate, but let me turn this. Can you turn that while you're
This is like jacuzzi water, so
yeah,
it's perfect.
Okay, but nobody can see. We've got to turn the phone. Okay. There we go. Okay, back to the sous vide. All right.
Okay.
So this you put your hands in because you didn't feel it was too hot.
It's only 123 degrees.
There
So these
go.
are all perfectly cooked.
Okay.
And now we're going to put our other bag in.
Okay.
This bag I put in at 245.
Okay. At not temperature 245, but at
2:45 p.m.
And it is now 3:45. So it's perfect.
So they would have been ready at 3:15.
Oh.
But that's the beauty of this, is that they're fine. They're completely perfect, and we had an extra half hour for whatever we needed.
Right. And so now let me ask you a question about the meat. Let me just bring this over. So, okay. So this is, you can see it. I mean, do you feel like that is rare or medium rare? And I'm just wondering,
would call it perfect, but
yeah, well, I would too.
I would say it's definitely medium rare.
Medium rare. And do you think, like, if you're serving a lot of ladies at a brunch, that maybe I should do one of these at medium rare and one of them at medium?
I would maybe just do it like 2 degrees warmer.
Okay.
So it would be, because if somebody doesn't like medium rare, that's going to be too rare.
Okay.
But based on standard
so do one
cooking
of them,
guides, 134 is the temperature of medium rare.
Okay, and so you do one, let's say at 134 and one at 136.
Well, you could if you wanted to do 2 separate ones and have them cooked.
Well, I am going to have two separate ones. Right, I'm going to have.
But you could do them both in the same one.
At 136?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Yep.
Just asking. All right.
Lots of flexibility.
All right.
So we have these beautiful scallops. And the joy of scallops is having that beautiful little seared crust on it, which is where I always kind of got sideways, because I'd get them seared, but then they'd still be raw inside.
And we're going to use duck fat for this as well.
No.
Oh,
No.
we're not.
I mean, I suppose we could.
No. I was just asking.
I usually use the Temecula blood orange olive oil,
Oh, you got it.
which smells heavenly.
And wouldn't you just die if I said, I don't have any of that? I didn't know I was supposed to get that, but
I would smile and I'd say, okay, well, we'll just have another plan B.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we'll get that nice
You
and hot.
that I live with Temecula blood orange olive oil, right?
Well, as do I. I think I use it almost daily.
I find reasons to use it that I didn't know even existed. Okay, all right, I just want to move the pan over,
Oh, sorry.
and then that way everybody can watch. There we go, how's that? Okay, so no to the duck fat on this. Yes to the fresh blood orange olive oil from Temecula.
Yeah.
And into, now about how much of this do you think we're going to put? How's that?
Enough. Yeah, I think that's probably good.
All right, about 2
The idea with
tablespoons,
that
I
is
think.
to make sure that they caramelize but don't stick.
Right, so let's turn this on and turn it up, and that way
And
the olive oil,
what
smell
might
that
be-
olive oil.
It smells so,
So
good.
good.
If we have another set of tongs, I put them in if you want to flip them. Because that's always the challenge. Like they only really need like 20 seconds or so on each
Really?
side.
Okay.
And I am not a scallop expert, but
Okay, here's one set.
That's
And
perfect.
Are you going to, do you want me to rinse that because it's got the meat on it? So here, you start with that, and I'll rinse this.
we need to let it get a little warmer.
Oh my gosh, you don't, oh sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toe. You don't know how hungry you are until you actually taste
Yeah.
delicious food, and then all of a sudden, you
Right.
get very hungry. So, hey Orly, how are you? Thanks for being here. Not quite hot enough yet, almost, right?
Now you can smell the oranges.
You can. Oh
Smells
my
good.
gosh, love the olive oil. So let me just coat this around.
Oh, that smells delicious.
Everything. I I wish you guys were here. Oh my gosh, I wish you were here. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, and you want me to turn them?
I didn't know if it would get going too fast.
It just all of a sudden heats up is what happens. And this is really heavy bottom. Oh my gosh, there you go. Wow. Sorry about the silence on this
I know,
end.
so I'm focused.
So Heidi says, hi Tanya, miss your face.
I miss your face too. Living your best life in Tennessee.
Oh my gosh. So let's put maybe one in the center here. And should we start turning? So these are not browned yet. You can smell the orange. You can smell the honey. You actually can smell the vanilla bean.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. Oh, that's still not doing it. Let's give it a minute. There's one. How's that?
That's perfect.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, I do not have the manual dexterity for this.
Those tongs are a little bit harder to use, and I have two pairs of these, but I can't find it this time. And so how many of these do you serve per person?
Usually 3 or 4 technically as a serving.
And do you serve them as an
when I make
appetizer
them,
or a main course?
I usually do them as a main course.
And what do you serve them over?
Like plain risotto. Sometimes I just a bed of spinach.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Okay, we need a plate.
Look at that. Can you guys see that? Whoops. Can't get it in there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful.
So this is the point at which you want to make sure to get them out so you don't end up with rubbery scallops that got overcooked.
Okay, how we do?
It's good.
Look at that. Look how brown and beautiful that is. Look, I can't find the camera lens. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it's taken on the color of orange, actually, from the marinade and everything else. Okay.
Just delicious.
So shall we start our forks for all of you again?
Oh, did I lose my fork already?
Yeah, I forever cleaning up. As Wolfgang Puck says, clean up after yourself. Oh, that was my dad, sorry. Okay, all right, just cut into one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Can you see this, everybody?
I wish everybody could taste.
I wish I were tasting for you. Believe me when I tell you we are tasting for you. Okay.
So you can see it's like perfectly cooked, which I don't take credit for.
Well, you do. Let me see. All right. And these only took 30 minutes, whereas the meat took 3 to 4 hours. 2 to 3 or 3 to 4?
Right about 3. Isn't that yummy?
So
You don't
yummy.
have the other half.
Oh, yeah. I have picked over there at the beef 100 times.
Delicious.
And I just want to show the caramelization that actually is on this plate. The richness of the sauce and the marinade that actually has come, and you can see the caramelization like on this one. These right here, just the ends are just delicious. I'm guessing from the orange juice and the honey.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful. Hey, Michael Barton, thanks for being here. Should we try one more?
I put my fork away already.
Oh, you did?
I was following Wolfgang Puck's directions.
Oh, okay. We can always grab another fork. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we're making Parmesan thyme crackers, Ina Garden's recipe. I'm using that as an appetizer for our Sukkot dinner party and for Connor's birthday. We're celebrating both at the same time. So I'm going to be making them here and getting ready for that. On Thursday, we have Love in a Tuscan Kitchen joining us, and they're going to be giving away a book and a spices. And so they were with us a while ago, and we're so happy to have them back. And then Friday will be, again, I'll be making a recipe for serving for Saturday, so I have to see where I'm at in my cooking. And wherever I am, I will bring it to you Friday at 3 o'clock, so make sure to join us tomorrow. I know that Chef Vincenzo and his beautiful romantic wife will love to see you, so please join us. Also, we're posting the recipes, and if I can, I will post the Anova Sous Vide Amazon link in the Game Changers link on nannybubby.com. That's a mouthful, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I love Cheryl's book too. It's absolutely amazing. So, you ready?
All right.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go out and
Spread love like butter. Vanilla bean butter.
Vanilla bean ghee. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.